Hi, we're back. I'm Joe Pilla, your pop culture monger, and I'm here with
Rich Sands.
And today we are very excited because this week was this final episode of Scandal, and we know a lot about Scandal.
Too much, perhaps.
Rich had to watch every single episode of Scandal in 6 weeks?
Yeah.
Because he was working on this magazine. So I'm going to ask you right off the bat, what did you think of the final episode?
I actually liked it for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
A series finale has a lot of work to do and it's never going to satisfy all the fans. The only thing I did not like, or that really bothered me, was the way Cyrus basically got away with murder. And there were no repercussions for him, not just for killing David Rosen, spoiler alert, but for everything bad that he has done. And all he had to do was resign as the vice president, and he got to walk away scot-free. That to me felt a little like a plot hole.
Maybe he's moving to How to Get Away with Murder.
Well, it's funny. There's talk that Marcus might end up returning there, although the way they tied up Scandal made it seem like he and Mellie might have some sort of a future together that would make his continuing a fling with Michaela on How to Get Away with Murder be problematic.
Well, I also think that Michaela is actually closer to his own age, first of all. And How to Get Away with Murder is a hotbed of bed jumping. So, they could fit him right in at any time. I really hope people have watched the episode by the time they watch this video, or we're ruining it.
Right, we should have
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler
I'll put it in the tag before we
yeah.
start. And I was reading some articles about what were the 23 best quotes, and I was amazed at how many great speeches there were. And there was this one speech in season 2 that I was reminding you of, where Olivia is breaking up with Norm Lewis, who's a Broadway actor who we all love in New York, and he played the senator she was dating for a bit, and he basically just wants to know, are you sleeping with the president? What's going on with the president? Are you the mistress? And she is not having it. She cannot tell him anything, and she just turns, she goes, 5, and she says something, 4, and then she gets down to 2. In the last 3 minutes, you've called me a whore, an idiot, and I was just like, oh, there's the door, you should just stop and go. But I love this article Vulture.com had, because it reminded me of the power of the Olivia speech after we've been kind of inundated with some of the Papa Pope speeches.
Here's an interesting thing. So someone emailed me and mentioned that they thought that the fact that there was that portrait of Olivia at the end meant that she will be the president someday. Did you take it that way?
Well, what's really interesting is on Jimmy Kimmel, they had the entire cast on the night of the finale. I know you said you didn't watch it, but they asked Shonda Rhimes that exact question, and she wouldn't answer. She said she's taken the answer to her grave, and Kerry Washington said she didn't know either, but it could go one of two ways. She could become either a president, or she could be a first lady, or she could be just someone seen in a prominent way in the political space. But I wonder if you're not the president or the first lady or secretary of state, what is the qualification to get your portrait in the gallery?
Well, but it wasn't clear even what that gallery was.
Right.
So I took it to it was some Smithsonian type museum in Washington, and she was just there as an influential person. She served 2 presidents of the United States, including chief of staff to the first female president. And as an African American woman, she was a pioneer. So I just took it like that. But then I do see merit to the idea that, was that a flash forward well after Olivia Pope has been president of the United States?
I love when you say flash forward, because it's not a term I ever use in my day-to-day life. But the other thing I found out was, apparently Shonda Rhimes' daughter was a little girl in that scene, and they are donating some stuff to the Smithsonian.
Good.
And I think they're going to give, they said they might give the portrait, they want to give a copy of the portrait, and they can't have the desk that they used in the Oval Office because Shonda took it home.
It's called the Resolute desk, which is something I learned working on this project.
Fancy.
That's what they call the desk in the White House.
I didn't realize you worked on the set design of the show. That's an inside joke. So thinking about this season, and one of the things I think happened that was really interesting was it kind of just went along all over the place until the last 4 episodes. Because they had the fake death of Quinn, which,
feels like a lifetime ago at this point.
But also, it was the cliffhanger for the first part of the season. It was just so implausible that I got angry and annoyed by that. And I think I had said to you that I couldn't follow it. I was getting so anxious what was going to happen. And in the end, I feel like they had to take Olivia so far into this other direction to bring her back that in everything we know about Scandal, sometimes they just go too far.
Right.
And what I learned reading about the show is that Shonda said in the first season, she was only getting like a short number of episodes, like 6, 8, or 10. So I think it was 8, maybe?
The first season was 7 episodes.
7 episodes. And they had all these ideas. So she just threw them all in and said that they basically created this Scandal pace on the fly. So when you know that, I feel like the first part of the 7th season, that's what they were doing. And finally, they let us breathe the last 3 episodes.
Right, except for the quickly turning Jake from compromise to complete bad guy, which fit the story that they wanted to tell in the finale, which was to make him the fall guy for B613 and take him out of the equation completely. And to do that, they made him do some bad things in the last few episodes to make it less vague.
Mm-hmm. I know. That everything was, parts of it were wrapped up really well, and other parts, like, yeah. I didn't love the Jake part. You didn't love the Cyrus part. But what I want to get to is, do you think the season 7 is Emmy worthy for writing or acting, or SAG worthy for an ensemble? Because you think about these people that have worked together for 7 seasons, and they really are cohesive in many ways, and they're gladiators, and they come as a tribe in so many ways. And when I was watching the Jimmy Kimmel tribute episode, it seemed like, wow, there's some really major talent here. Almost as if they were promoting themselves.
I don't know. I think that if it gets any Emmy or SAG or Golden Globe love next fall and winter, my take would be it would be done as a lifetime appreciation of the series thing. I don't think anything they did in season 7 standing on its own was that spectacular that it would get those awards. But I think people may want to recognize such a groundbreaking show with an African-American lead that, like most Shonda shows, just had no interest in, pretending that it was anything other than that we live in a diverse world. Mm-hmm. And so I think that might be how it gets it. But I don't know that necessarily any of the storytelling or performances per se would get award recognition.
Does Shonda have an Emmy?
That's a good question. I don't think so.
I don't think so. So one of the things I was thinking...
But she was given a special Emmy recognition last fall. They honored her.
Yes, I remember that. I was just thinking that this would be a way... Since she wrote the
And
finale,
by the way, if you try and find it online, Oprah Winfrey gave the introduction speech to Shonda, and it was incredible. It's definitely worth watching.
Okay, cool. So what was I going to say there? I forgot now. So I think that one of the things they could do is give Shonda a nomination for writing, because it would be a nice way to honor her.
Sure.
So anyway, that's our recap of Scandal. I think it was a really good show. I remember I started watching it after season 2 and binged it, and it was my first real deep binge of a show that was going on. Yeah. So we're into it. Thank you so much. We'll have some more videos coming up.